All right. So the first question that I see here, and you can continue to put things in the chat box, but the first question I'm seeing here is that on the search, this attendee went in and tried for the past projects. They didn't see any projects for 2024, and they only see one for 2023. They wondered whether there's an opportunity to see what projects were approved in 2023. I believe this is for Carolyn or Leah.
Leah, why don't you answer it? But just so you know, I did put the link into the 2023 projects list from
Perfect.
the award announcement.
Yeah, so we don't have the 2023 awards up yet because some of them have yet. We have a process in which we move them over into the search tool as a cohort, and we still have a handful of projects that have not been fully executed. So apologies for that. As we get this new system up and running, there are some hiccups, and that is one of them, that we can only put them up there when they're active projects, and some of them haven't been fully executed. So we do hope to have those up soon, at least the ones that are fully executed. 2024, we did not have a competition last year. It was that's the reason that it's not up there.
Okay, so just to clarify, the project has to be finished, or this is just a listing of what was funded?
The project has to be, in order for it to be in the search tool, it has to be an active project. Once the projects are selected, we go through an agreement development process. And there are rare circumstances in which an agreement would not come to full execution, whether that was the choice of the awardee or an issue with the proposal being fundable. Very, very rare. I don't think I've seen it in my 8+ years here at NRCS. So we can't include them until they're active, and we don't have them all active yet. We did have a process set up where one of my colleagues would move them all over as a group, as like a batch to put them in. So there have been a couple of holdouts that have prevented us from getting that batch up. But we're working on a workaround to get the ones that we have up because of the, I want to say, 50 projects that were funded. I think there's like 5 that haven't yet been fully executed and are not yet active. The other ones are active and working on their projects.
So that's a good question. When is the next CIG sign up? Do we know?
We do not have information on that at this time.
Okay.
And it's not really a sign up. It's a, it's a grant proposal process. So it's not like other NRCS programs, which are, cost share programs. And I think I'll put in the chat, we have, sometimes people don't think of their questions till they're writing a proposal. So we have an inbox that Leah had mentioned. I'll put it in the chat again. And, it's a really good resource if you do have a question on our program.
All right. From Rick, I heard his question is, what is the likelihood of priorities changing in the next round? And then how do you obtain feedback on the topics that are part of those priorities?
Leah, do you want to answer that first?
Yeah, Caroline, I'll let you take the feedback portion of the question. The likelihood, unfortunately, we don't have information on that at this time. Yeah, I apologize that we can't provide more details on that. But
the lighting has gotten really funny here.
I was going to say, it's like Caroline's sitting in the dark now.
Can you repeat the feedback question just so I get it?
Sure. How is feedback obtained on the topics? I'm guessing it's the priority topics. How do they decide what those are? I think that's how I would.
Right. So a lot of this is decided kind of high level, I think, for a lot of like for on-farm trials, a lot of it's in statute. About half of them are in statute. For the priorities for CIG Classic, again, we cover all the natural resource concerns. So when you're looking at priorities within those natural resource concerns, those are actually sub-priorities in the funding opportunity. And those are not, exclusive anymore. So we will always allow everything to compete within that natural resource concern. But we will identify some prioritized topics. And those are timely, right? Like, and they often are related to the administration's priorities. So things like climate change and water reuse have been integrated in, as well as urban agriculture. So, you know, it a lot of times it just aligns with what is going on in our country at that time. So.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. Well, seeing no other questions, and we are past the half-hour mark, I think I'll draw it to a close. If you do have other questions, certainly reach out to our speakers or reach out to the LBELC staff, and we will do our best to pass that along to the speakers as well. And Caroline shared the NRCS-CIG email address, which is a great way to get a hold of them as well. So with that, I want to thank you and remind you to, when you close out, there will be that survey, and we would really appreciate the quick answers to those questions.